Welcome to the Direct Line, powered by 10Bet. I'm Nico. On today's show, we'll have an exclusive look at the Kock racing stables in Randkiesfontein. Matt Kock joins us to walk around his yard, and we spent a bit of time with him on today's show. We don't have the regular features of Nico's notebook and the competition. That'll return next week. But let's go in to the Kock racing team and find out what's going on there. Great privilege to be here at Kock Racing for today. We'll be speaking to Matt Kock, part of the team behind Kock Racing. They've been legendary trainers over the years, headed up, of course, by Mike Kock, and they've had lots of Grade 1 successes, and a lot goes into the big race wins. Let's go out and chat to Matt and find out what actually happens here at headquarters. Well, we're out here at Kock Racing out at Randkiesfontein, and I thought we'd have some chill time with Matt Kock, a part of the big team, both here in Johannesburg and down in Durban. And it's a great pleasure to visit his stables and to spend a little bit of time with him during his training regime. Very good morning. How are you?
Yeah, well, Nico, nice to have you in my office.
Yeah, it's great, because the last time we were in a studio, and I said, well, I just want to come out and visit you guys, and mainly on the back of the success of Haute Couture winning a Group 1 at Scottsville last weekend. It was really great to see. I called his first race and his debut win, which won comfortably by over 10 lengths. I just want to come and find out a little bit more about your babies. I mean, I think it's still the same as it was years ago. Your mom really looks after those young horses before they come and into full training. Is that still the case?
Yeah, it is still the case. Haute Couture went through our program of educating the young horses, and it's such an important aspect in the racing industry, is making sure that the young horses are properly educated and have a very good grounding, because by the time they get to us, it really makes my job 10 times easier if I don't have to really worry about teaching them, and I can focus more on getting them to the races and fit and well and trying to perform at their best. So yeah, it's a really underestimated thing, and we're continuing to do it, and it's brought us success over the years, as you've seen, and again, the proof's in the pudding after last weekend.
I know, and I said to Mike many years ago, when he went over to Dubai, don't change something that's not broken. Keep going at it, because you were able to raid internationally from your base here in the Midrand in Johannesburg. That's where you're able to launch your attack from. So what happens there? Does your mom give you a report card on each horse as if it was like a kid going up through nursery school and that, to know how it's going and just to what to look out for? And then when do you realize that horse, once it's come to you, is ready to race its first run?
Yeah, it's a lengthy process, Nico. I mean, for instance, Haute Couture was brought to the national sales in April of last year. He came straight from there after being purchased straight into our yard here. And my mother with her team, with Vivian, they immediately start the breaking in process, just getting to a stage where the rider's on the back and can steer left and right. And I don't really get a report card every week, because I don't need one from that team. That it's going very well. And the beauty is that it's right here on my doorstep. So I just walk over there once a week and have a look and have a chat to the guys. How's this one doing? How's that one doing? And that's basically the report card, is just me going over there and watching them progress, and then watching them their first day up at the track. And there's so many milestones along the way. First time cantering on the track, first time doing a bit of pace work. So there's so many beautiful milestones along the way, and you're part of the journey and updating the owners and videos and etc. But a horse like him probably stuck up his hand very, very early. As soon as he started to do some pace work, you could see there was something different. He had an exceptional action and a great efficient mover, and those kind of things for a trained eye is easy to pick up. We can see that from very early on, and I actually thought he was going to be ready to race, probably in December or January, and kind of earmarked him as one of our Joburg feature race horses. And he went through the gates for a little barrier trial. He trialled exceptionally well, and he just came back from that trial a little bit niggly. He didn't recover as well with his heart rates, so he just was showing those little signs of immaturity. And then the hardest thing to do as a trainer is to do nothing. To stop, push the stop button. You get excited, you just see a horse gallop like a Ferrari come down the track, and you just start thinking about entering it, and then you see it's a bit niggly, and then you got to make that tough call. Do we push on or back off? And fortunately, we had no pressure from Jason and Prishalin, and we backed off him in December, gave him time off, and he put on 20-25 kilos, the horse, and came back into work, and we've had no niggles with him since, and just progressed to his debut, and we're very happy we did the right things.
So going into that debut run, I mean, obviously you know that that's going to be the first run, and you're all excited as a team. Nervousness come into it?
Yeah, there's a lot
for the first run.
There's a lot of pressure because you've selected a horse for someone on behalf of someone. They've paid a hefty fee of 2.1 million rand, which is quite a big hefty fee for any person, no matter what your wealth status is. And then the horse is starting to show you that he's above average, and now you're telling the owners also that he's above average without trying to get everyone too excited. So there's expectations. I always say I run a management expectation business sometimes. But then especially on ourselves, we really want to succeed. So it's really nice when it comes off, and the way he won his first race was breathtaking. I mean, I could never have wished he'd win a race like that. I haven't seen too many first-timers win a race in the manner in which he did, and then you really know that he's definitely something special.
So after that run, the big question is, where does he go next? Now, personally, I do my own ratings on 2-year-olds, and coming out of that, I mean, he beat a filly called Ruby Whisper, and he was giving her 2.5 kilos, beat her by 10.5 lengths, which effectively means he beat her close to 13 lengths. So I'd rated up certainly above 100. The decision thereafter to take it straight into a Group 1 after one race, you guys, your dad and you've got a lot of experience on your side. That this is potentially a Group 1 winner in the 2-year-old category. Was that a tough decision to make, to go down to Scottsville?
Yeah, it's always a tough decision, especially when there's a boom horse down there already that they're saying is unbeatable. And then you got to overcome the hurdles of traveling down there, going to a new race course again. But we had full confidence in the horse. The way that he behaved on debut and just came out the gates like a rocket and just went dead straight and never looked sideways. And the time he ran, all those little things, and horses that he's worked with at home, gives you the confidence to say, well, let's have a go. It's the horses around our competition is still very young. Not all the horses have made their debuts and etc. So there's no reason for us not to test the waters. And fortunately, we made the tough call and had a go, and it's all paid off. Could easily have run second, and it wouldn't be looking so smart. But the horse just pulled through for us.
So when you get down to the race course last Saturday, and obviously you get people chirping you throughout the day, and obviously you give your comment, and your comments were pretty bullish. I saw on the day. You said, "Well, look, we think we've got a bullet here. Let's see how close we go." So you were pretty confident going into the race. A lot of people were shocked after the race that Marshall's horse didn't win.
Yeah. I think he was obviously the fancied horse and had the experience and just looked the right horse on paper. But we backed ourselves and we were confident. But you can never be overly confident in this game, and I've always learned to just rather be humble and be act a bit more surprised.
Or to do the talking.
Yeah, act a bit more surprised when they win. So we're happy to kind of have that underdog pressure rather than the chosen one pressure. Yeah.
I saw in your tweets this morning of Kock Racing that you've had 7 individual juvenile winners, which is fantastic news. So it's going along pretty well. So you've got a nice bunch of young horses here.
Yeah, Nico, and I haven't really put heaps of pressure on them. I've let the ones put their hands up that look like they're going to be early types. And of those 7, 3 have won stakes races. So no, we've had a great 2-year-old season so far, and I think it's only going to get better and better. Yesterday we had 2 nice juvenile winners again. And there's a lot of unraced horses in the yard. 90% of our yard is 3-year-old and under. So I think it's only going to get stronger and better.
Behind me is the top 3-year-old Jan van Gooyen, who is a star of the Kock racing yard. And Matt joins me now to just chat about him briefly. What a racehorse. I mean, in his 2-year-old career, he just shot the lights out. He's had to be gelded now. He's had a run after being gelded, and now he goes for the big Daily News style in Durban. How's he coming along?
Yeah, I'm very happy with him, Nico. Probably his last 2 runs hasn't gone a traditional path and way about it, but now for Saturday, I think he's in a good space. And on his day, he's 2-3 lengths better than any 3-year-olds around. You know, he's really shown that on 2 occasions. So he's just got to reproduce that sort of form, and over 2,000 meters, he's going to be a big runner then.
The decision to geld him after the Classic must have been, one that subject to a lot of debate and that. But I mean, if he's going to persist, you felt that obviously the Classic run wasn't up to scratch, and you needed to do something.
Yeah, it's obviously always hard when you're gelding a colt that's won 2 Group 1s already. But we spoke at length with Henk and his family about it. He's not a very big horse, only 440 kilos, and he's probably not going to be the most suitable stallion out there if he retires to stud. So Henk's not getting any younger, and he said he's probably not going to be around for his offspring to race. And he thought, I've got a good racehorse, and there is a problem with him concentrating, so may as well geld him and try and get the best out of him that we can on the race course, whilst Henk's still young and fruitful and alive to see it all. So it was a tough call, but I think in time to come, we're really going to see that it was the right call.
The last one was in a pinnacle race against Press On Regardless, and I thought he ran really well. I think some might have expected him to win it, but I think Press On Regardless also was ridden well on the day. And I think, not to say he wasn't ridden well, I think he was ridden very patiently. Yeah. And, I think it was a nice come-on run.
Yeah, it was, Nico. I mean, we didn't want him to peak 3 weeks ago, in a pinnacle. There's no point in that. So he come off a gelding. We backed off him when he was gelded. And then we had those 3 weeks of rain. So on a 60-day rest period between runs, he probably only did 20, 25 days of full work. He was a bit behind on his work. And considering that and his wide gates, we said to Kaylan, rather just the first half of the race, take it easy and let him finish the race off, which is what you would have seen. And I still thought he got tired. He looked like he could be a winner probably with 200-300 to go. And then the last 50, 75, he came up for air. So, but I like the improvement I've seen since then. He's not far off being spot on. So I think he should run to his best ability on Saturday. And Saturday will probably dictate to us whether we push on for a July or where we go with him.
What is your principal July hope, wouldn't he be? And the other question is the distance. I mean, it was a question mark, but telling me what you're telling me now in the Classic run with things not 100% right, you can't really judge that run. Yeah. I thought on the last run he'd get the trip of 2,000 and 2,200 meters of gravel.
Yeah.
But as you say, what are your thoughts? I mean, in terms of the breeding and in terms of where he's going, do you think you get the trip?
Yeah, breeding's hard to go on. He's got quite a fast female line, but by most of my fates, a little bit of stamina on his side there. And both times he's gone into an 1800, it hasn't been an ideal preparation. He's come off the Cape Town trip for the Classic, and then the gelding and the rain for the last start. And both times he's won a mile when he's been super fit and really well. I would have said to you, no problem. He won the mile so convincingly and ran it out so strongly. I would have said, no, there's no issue. So I still believe it's going to be fine. He'll handle the distance fine, but he's got to go out there and show it to us.
Looking at the Daily News card and the field that's come out, strong bunch of 3-year-olds. What do you think of the horse to beat there?
Yeah, it's a lovely race, very competitive, and as it should be, it's a fantastic race in history gone by. Only top horses have won that race. So obviously, a horse like Star Major looks like he's really jumped out of the ground since relocating from Cape Town. And of the note to self, obviously the talking horse, but it doesn't end there. It's a deep field, I reckon. But like I said, Jan's beaten these horses before, and beaten them convincingly. So we just got to hope he can come back to his best.
All the best on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Well, we're now back at the epicenter of the De Kock Racing Yard, and we're here in the main office where all the decisions get made. Who's going to run, who's going to ride the horses, what do we need to do with the vet. A lot of admin goes on here. And Max, your lovely wife works in this office and manages all that. And it's looking good.
Yeah, it is, Nico. She's recently given it a facelift, and yeah, it feels good to be in this office now. And yeah, you're right. This is where a lot of the thinking goes on and the decision making, which is a big part of the job. And it's part of the job I do like. I like programming and working things out and working towards certain dates goals.
After being with you just for the morning here, it looks like you like to get your hands dirty. You like to come in every day and be on top of things. You don't necessarily want to delegate everything.
Yeah, I mean, I like to be a part of everything and from the ground up, and it's important to be a part of everything, but you get to know your horses and the way they move and their well-being and their mannerisms. But it is also important to not overload yourself, and that's why we have a great team behind us, and we're able to spread the workload and rely on vets, farriers, our assistant trainers, our grooms. Everyone strives for excellence, and we try and surround ourselves with people that are motivated for the same reasons as us. So we're very, very lucky to have a good team as well.
And your dad's semi-retired now, and he's down in Durban. He's running the Durban operation down there. But things working well and he's happy down there?
Yeah, he's very happy down there. He's semi-trainer, semi-professional golfer at the moment. So
He's want to go on the seniors tour.
yeah, it's old enough. So he's really enjoying it. The weather's good for him. He hates the cold here in Joburg, and a little small screen for him is just perfect. And he loves training at Summerveld. So loves taking walks on the promenade there in Durban and Slanga. So he's and my mom by his side. He's very, very happy.
Just in terms of, I know there was some talk about possible Dubai campaign with some of your horses. Can you maybe talk us what the latest thinking is on that?
Yeah, we're still keen to go over. We're assembling a small little team to go over. Probably leave August, September time, make our way there, and kind of a flexible situation at the moment, fluid situation, and we'll just see where the journey takes us.
So at the moment, the intention is to go Dubai. And sponsors, I mean, at the end of the day, you've got your sponsors Lucky Fish on board. It must be a great pleasure to have a big sponsor on board with the De Kock team.
Yeah, it's a lovely sponsor to have. We recently joined their team, and they joined our team, and they brought us a lot of luck. So far, we've had a lot of success under their banner. It's a fantastic company, as all the investments that are made on Lucky Fish websites, etc., are all come back into racing. So it's really for a good cause, and we really happy with the relationship.
I wanted to thank you for your time. I know it's an imposition at times to come to big yards, but you've been utter gentleman to us and such a good host. Just all the best for the rest of the season. Not long to go now, but some big races. The July's coming up, as we spoke about earlier on. But just all the best to you and your big De Kock racing team.
Yeah, thanks, Nico. Thanks for having you on your show. Always have time for you, so appreciate being on your show. Thank you.
Well, that's the edition of this week's The Direct Line, powered by 10Bet. I'm Nico. It's been a great pleasure joining Matt De Kock at his stables, finding out a little bit about his horses and the upcoming run of Jan van Hooyen in the Daily News 2000. It's been an absolute pleasure visiting them. We'll return to our normal podcast next week, but from the De Kock Racing Stables, this is Nico Crusader saying cheers for now. Join us on the next edition of The Direct Line, powered by 10Bet.